You've probably heard of the company Wyze for these cute little square home security cameras. Well, they've got a lot of other products, including a floodlight camera. And they just came out with this, the Wyze Cam Floodlight V2. So let's take a closer look and show you what comes inside the box. Check it before you wreck it. What's up, geeks? Great to have you here on the channel. I'm Kirk, and here it is, the Wyze Cam Floodlight V2. It's essentially a combination of a motion-activated floodlight and a Wyze camera that wires directly into your house. This is V2, but technically it's the third version. We had version 1, and then we had the Pro version, and now here is V2. So it should be the best camera yet. It kind of seems like a combination of version 1 and the Pro floodlight camera mixed into one. So let's take this over to the table and see what comes inside the box. The Wyze Cam Floodlight, take a look, version 2. This is brand new from Wyze. This is a follow-up to their first floodlight camera that's got the lights, the floodlights, and a Wyze camera all integrated into one. It hardwires into your house, so it's designed to replace an existing hardwired light. Let's take a quick look at the box before we unbox this. 2K HD color night vision camera, motion activated, kind of what you'd expect here. On the side, we've got the same thing. Also says what comes in the box here. The Wyze Cam Floodlight V2, 6 bracket screws. We've got ground screw, we've got floodlight screws, 2 wire nuts, a rubber stopper, mounting accessory kit, a hook, and a quick start guide. So we will check that out in just a second. Also noted it's compatible with a Google Home. It's also compatible with Alexa. It's compatible with If This Then That. You got an app in the Google Play Store, and of course for your iPhone as well. On the back, 2K color night vision, 160-degree wide-angle view. That 160 degree is a big deal because that's different from the original floodlight camera. The Pro had, I think, 180-degree, correct me if I'm wrong, but a wider angle view. So this is kind of best of both worlds, really, a marriage between the Pro floodlight cam and then the original floodlight cam V1. You've got a 280 lumen LED and motion-activated light. On the side here, you can see here, protect 50% more space than other floodlight cameras. That's because it's got that 160-degree ultra-wide angle view. It also has a motion sensor built in that's not the camera. It's separate from the camera, and it provides even a wider angle motion sense. So we'll talk about that a little bit in just a second. I'll show you that sensor, but you can see some of the features, the wide angle lens, the 2K video. You've got color night vision. That's a Wyze thing that we see on all the Wyze cams now. So there's that 270-degree motion activated floodlights. So the motion sensor is 270 degrees. So it can actually detect motion before that motion enters your camera frame, which is pretty cool. It can trip the camera before the camera even sees it. You've got dual bright 2800 lumen LED lights that are now adjustable. So it's not on or off anymore. You can adjust it. You've got easy in-app setup, 24/7 recording locally on a micro SD card. That's a big deal for all these Wyze cameras. Weather resistance, I sure hope so. It's designed to go outside. Scheduling and automation, 2-way audio, a loud siren. You can turn the siren on if necessary. Compatible with voice assistance. I talked about that. You've got viewing cameras in your browser, which these are all features only with your Cam Plus subscription. So keep that in mind. Viewing the cameras in the browser, person detection, package detection, pet notification, a full-length event recording, and instant video event review. Again, those are if you pay for their Cam Plus subscription. All right, so now we got to get this thing open, which only means one thing. We must get our trusty knife to slice the tape and open up the box for this new Wyze Floodlight Cam version 2. All right, I can already see the motion sensor as it's sort of revealed here. Ooh, nice unboxing experience. Nice job, Wyze. You know, typically Wyze is a very bare bones unboxing experience. You know, it's kind of what we expect from them. It's a pretty affordable bare bones product, but I like that. Revealing the lights and the camera and the motion sensor right there. And we'll pull this out. We'll take a closer look at this in just a second, because I do want to talk about how this is definitely a little bit different than the previous motion light from Wyze, but we'll talk about that in a second. I first want to go through kind of what's inside the box here. Let's move you to the side and see what we got. So really not a ton in here. This is your quick start guide. You know, the normal go through the motions, what you'd expect in the box, how to get it set up. And what's nice about this is the original Floodlight cam, you had to do the normal QR code on your phone to set up the camera, which meant that if you mounted the camera 10 feet above your head in a high space, maybe on your back patio, well, you had to use your QR code up there. You had to get a ladder to face the QR code towards the camera. You no longer have to do that. This is something they fixed with the Pro model, and now they've brought that over to the new version 2 as well. Look, we've got a nice little Wyze sticker, which is kind of cool. What does that say? I backed Wyze Cam Floodlight V2. This is for people who backed the crowdsourcing campaign. Not sure if this is included in every box, but you might get one of these. Well, I was wrong. That's pretty much it in the box. There's nothing else inside of there. So let's take a closer look. It looks like the screws and such are in this box that's connected to the camera itself, this box right here. So let's slide that out and see what's inside there. All right, so as we went through on the outside of the box, you've got the basic things you'd expect to be included. A hook. You know, I haven't looked yet. I don't know exactly what this hook is for. It might be, and some companies do this with fans in your home. You hang it on the hook while you install the wiring, maybe. Or it could be for something else. Comment below if you know exactly what that hook's for. Here's your mounting bracket for your box, your round box. A 4-inch round box is what this will be mounted to on the outside of your house. You've got that rubber gasket, a couple of wire nuts there to wire it in, and then you've got various screws. There's your ground screw, the green one on the end, various screws, all letter coated. That'll be part of the quick start guide. Make sure you keep those letter coated things separated until you need to figure out which screws you need. All right, so here is the Wyze Floodlight Cam V2, and the first thing you'll notice, I want to point this out. So the original Wyze, let me pop a picture up. This is the original Wyze Floodlight camera, and you notice the camera is actually just a Wyze cam that kind of sits inside the Floodlight. They sort of used the technology they already have and just integrated it into the Floodlight. This is different, and much like they did with the Pro, this is an actual camera built in here, integrated. It's not a normal Wyze cam. It is a camera designed and integrated into the hardware of the light itself. In fact, the camera has this motion detection sensor right on the bottom. On the side here, you've got your setup button. If you've used Wyze camera before, you know that you hit that setup button, and that's when you start pairing it with your phone. And then you've got your micro SD card slot, which is huge. If you know anything about Wyze cameras, that's a big deal. Local recording. So you can pay for the subscription, for the cloud subscription if you want. You don't have to. You can use local recording. That's always a big deal for me. Are you ready for the peel? Are you ready? Are you ready? So satisfying. Look at that, guys. That looks cool. So this is your speaker here. It's got a siren built in. You can also talk to people. If you're trying to talk to someone who has set off your motion detector, for example, you've got your camera, you've got integrated lights, or you can also do the color night vision. And here are your lights, which now are more adjustable than before. They have kind of a dim mode that can stay on all the time, and then they turn brighter when it detects motion. Again, as I mentioned, this motion sensor on the bottom is a 270-degree motion sensor, which is important. It's more useful for the lights because it can detect more motion to turn the lights on, but also it can detect motion on this motion sensor and start recording video on the camera before that person or object even enters into the camera frame. That's a big deal. So on the back here, again, this is designed to be hardwired directly into your box on the outside of your house. And so you've got your black and your white wires. You're going to wire in a ground wire as well. But this is pretty simple. It does not install in your home. It's not designed for that. It's designed to install where an existing floodlight or house light is on the outside of your home. And then you've got some adjustable brackets here. So take a look, you guys can see this. This is something you can move around. There appears to be a little screw there you can tighten, but this guy will move. I'm not gonna push it around too hard, but you can see that it moves. And if you loosen it up, you can adjust it to where you want it to point, and then you can tighten it down, which is nice. The lights have little swivels on them as well, so you can point these floodlights exactly where you want them to go. So you know what this feels like to me? And this isn't a full review, I'm not there yet, but what this feels like to me is they took the Wyze Floodlight version 1, they took the Wyze Floodlight Pro, and said, you know what, let's take the best of both worlds and release a new Floodlight version 2 that combines all the good features from the Pro and the version 1. So here you go, the Wyze Floodlight version 2. So what do you think? Are you thinking about buying this new Wyze Floodlight camera? Are you replacing a version 1? Are you new to the Wyze Floodlight cameras? Throw a comment below and make sure you subscribe to this channel. It supports our channel, it helps us grow, but also we're gonna have a review on this camera, we'll have more unboxings, just a lot of cool, geeky tech stuff. If you're into that, like I am, make sure you subscribe. Tech it before you wreck it. I'm Kirk.